Ethan didn't consider himself a hero. He was a single dad who waited tables, rushed home to read bedtime stories, and prayed his 10-year-old daughter, Lily, wouldn't notice how exhausted he really was. On a chilly Friday evening, his shift was nearly over. He wiped down tables inside the Cove, a cozy restaurant on the edge of the city, when he noticed a woman sitting alone near the bar. Elegant, stunning, yet uncomfortable. A man in a tailored suit leaned over her, speaking far too close. Ethan caught a fragment of her strained voice. "Please," I said no. The man smirked, ignoring her words. Ethan didn't think, he moved. He approached with a calm smile. "Sweetheart, sorry I'm late," he said gently to the woman. "Lily's teacher kept me after school again." She blinked, a beat of surprise. Then relief washed over her face like sunlight breaking through clouds. "Yes," she said quickly, matching his act. "You know how teachers can be." The pushy man scowled. "Who the hell are you?" "Her boyfriend," Ethan said firmly, "and she asked you to leave her alone." The man scoffed, then stormed out, muttering under his breath. Only when the door closed did the woman's confident facade melt. "Thank you," she whispered. "I didn't know how to get rid of him." Ethan nodded. Some people only hear themselves. Then he gave her space, turning to leave. "Wait," she said. "Please stay just for a moment." He hesitated, then slid into the seat beside her. "Ethan," he introduced. She smiled a little. "Arya." There was elegance in her voice, but something guarded too. She dressed like someone who had everything but looked like someone who'd lost more. They talked, simple things first. Favorite movies, coffee over tea, dogs over cats. She laughed easily at his stories about Lily. He noticed her eyes soften when she listened. Most people didn't listen like that. An hour passed, then another. "You saved my night," Arya said, glancing at her half-finished drink. "Can I at least buy you dinner?" Ethan chuckled. "I work here, they'd call that stealing." Her smile lingered, warm and grateful. Before leaving, she slipped him a card with her number. "In case Lily's teacher keeps you late again." Ethan laughed, pocketing it without expecting anything more. He had no idea that the woman he helped was Arya Sterling, billionaire, heiress to Sterling Global, a name he'd only ever seen on the news. She didn't tell him because she liked being just Arya for once. Days passed, and Ethan tried not to think about her. He convinced himself she forgot. Someone like her didn't call someone like him. Except she did. A week later. "Is this a bad time?" she asked through the phone. Ethan stared at his reflection in the kitchen window, still in his thrift store apron. "No, not at all." She wanted to see him again. He said yes faster than he meant to. Their second meeting wasn't fancy. They picked up burgers and fries and ate on a park bench under string lights. Lily joined because Ethan didn't have a babysitter. Arya didn't mind. In fact, she spent half the night sharing fries with Lily, asking about her favorite books, her dream of becoming a veterinarian, and praising her drawing of a slightly lopsided unicorn. Lily adored her by the end of the night. So did Ethan. There was something real in the way Arya knelt to Lily's height and listened like her words mattered. No luxury in the world could fake that. As the stars winked above them, Arya admitted, "I wish I had nights like these more often." "What's stopping you?" Ethan asked. Arya didn't answer, not then. Arya kept coming back. Sometimes she brought pastries from the city. Sometimes she brought paint kits for Lily. Mostly she brought smiles that Ethan didn't realize he'd forgotten how to make. The more he knew her, the more he saw bruises that didn't show on skin, loneliness, expectations, a future scripted by others. He had nothing she should want, and yet she chose his little world again and again. Until the night everything changed. At the Cove where they first met, Arya arrived shaken. Her security guard followed anxiously behind her. Arya, Ethan said, noticing tears threatening to spill. What's wrong? She explained her truth, who she really was, the empire she would one day inherit, the pressure. The man from that first night was her family's business partner. He had power, influence, and expectations that she would eventually become his wife. Business, not love. Ethan's silence lasted too long, not because he was angry, but because he felt small, insignificant, like her truth had pushed him back into the shadows of his own life. You should be with someone who belongs in your world, he finally said. Arya looked crushed. You are my world. Then she left in tears before he could find the courage to call her back. Days dragged. Ethan regretted every word. Lily noticed. Dad, she said one night while packing her school bag, why would someone who makes you smile be wrong for you? Ethan stared at his daughter, a tiny wisdom in pajamas. He realized fear had made his choice for him. Love deserved better. He closed the restaurant early that night, borrowed his boss's car, and drove into the city. He had no address, just a name that opened doors he'd never dreamed of. Sterling Global Tower shimmered with glass and lights. He entered the lobby, heart hammering. A receptionist eyed his worn jacket before asking, "Do you have an appointment, sir?" "I'm here for Arya Sterling," he said. "Please tell her Ethan here." Minutes felt like hours. Then the elevator chimed. Arya stepped out, looking surprised, hopeful, and terrified all at once. Ethan walked to her slowly. "I thought I wasn't enough." "You are enough," she whispered. "For me, you are everything." He reached for her hands, steadying his voice. "I don't know how any